Hello, dear students. Let's continue with practical implementation of creating the database. As you see, the database institute was created in the previous video, but you see that database is not yet in use. So you give a command, use the database institute. Don't use the word database. Now you can see that the institute database is in use, and the first table that we want to create in this database is student table. So the command to create a table is create table. Now this command is so much readable that I have directly, instead of discussing it on paper or on a slide, I have directly used the command, and I thought that if I can show this command in action, students will understand it instantly. Create table, then we give the name of the table, student. Okay. And then always after create table and name of the student follows the bracket. And in the bracket, we give name of the attribute. You recall the name of the attribute is SID. Every student will have unique student ID. And then we write the type. The type is int here, stands for integer. Then we will put comma, and then we will put second attribute. The name of the attribute is student name. But we will write the type here as varchar, variable length character of size 40. So a student name can be maximum 40 characters long. We will again put a comma, but now we are not going to add any attribute. That's it. The student has only two attributes, student ID and student name. But we are going to now describe who is going to be the primary key. Okay. So primary space key, and then we will put bracket over here, and we will write who is the primary key in this table. Note, we are writing SID is the primary key. Just check this. SID is one of the attributes, and we have now specified it in the bracket with primary key is SID. And now that's it. Now we will close the bracket here. This happens on the command prompt. Okay, we can't help it. It scrolls down, but then you see this open bracket has been now closed over here, as you see in the corner of the screen. And then we will end this command with semicolon, and that's it. It says query okay. You can see that this query is okay, 0 rows affected. You recall the command show tables. What is this command going to show is that in the institute database, which tables exist, and definitely it should show student exist in institute database. Now we want to add rows in this table. This table is empty right now. So how do you add rows? There is a command called insert command, and check the grammar. Insert into the table name. We want to insert new rows into student table, and then follows a reserved word values. Check the word is values, not value, and then follows the bracket. Now, how many attributes is student having? Two attributes. Every student will have integer student ID. Note SID is int and varchar student name. So I will give my first student as SID1, student number is 1, and the name will be in the inverted comma. Let's say name of this student is ABC, inverted comma close, bracket close for values. These are the only two values we can give because only two attributes are there in the student table. Let's put a semicolon. You can see it says that query OK, one row affected. That means one row has been added. It always shows the time it took for running the query. 0.312 seconds is quite fast. Let's insert more rows in this. We will give insert into the same table student, then yes, values, bracket. Now let's say SID for our next student is 2 and the name is, let's say, DEF. Some arbitrary names we are writing. Inverted comma close, bracket close, semicolon. So it says query OK, one row affected. Now we have inserted two rows. Okay. Let's say we want to see these rows again. Then there is a command select. Now, select command has the following grammar: select star from student. Now, observe what is the meaning of this is that we are telling MySQL to select all the rows. Star here means all the rows. So we are telling MySQL that go to this student table, open this student table, and get me all the rows that I had added in this student table and show me those rows. Don't forget to put semicolon here. You can now see SID name, and it is showing that these are the two rows added. Actually, this star here means show me all the columns. I'm sorry, not all the rows. This star means that get the students that I added, but for these students, show me all the columns. Let's say I want to see only SID values. Then I can give select SID, you see, from the table student and then put semicolon. So this time I have not given star. When I give star, then it means that I am telling that whatever column student is having two columns. Show me both the columns. Here I am requesting MySQL to show only SID column of student. So check the output. Yes, SID12 has been shown. Or I can ask MySQL to select name. I want to see only names of all the students. So from student, semicolon. Now I will see only name of the two rows that I added. Or we can write select SID, comma name. So I want to see both SID and name from student. So I will see both the columns SID and name. But this is silly, isn't it? If you want to see all the columns, then better method is select star. This is the quick way of telling MySQL that you are interested in watching all the columns of the student table. So this is the output we will get. Okay, let's try to insert one more row here. There is a reason, you will understand that. What is the grammar? Have you noted that? Insert into student. That's the table name. Then values, bracket. First comes SID, then comes SName. And remember, SID is int value. Now let us say we do a mistake here. Yeah, this is a mistake. I am creating a student with SID1 and name, let us say PQR. PQR. Now watch. There is nothing wrong with this name, but something is wrong with this student ID. Recall, student ID is the primary key. Yes, we have labeled student ID as the primary key of this table. And what are the properties of primary key? No two students can ever have same value for primary key. And we already have student ID as one. Then how are you inserting one more student with the same student ID? Let's see what happens. Let us try to put semicolon and let's try to run this insert command. And you will get an error. Wow, excellent. This says duplicate entry 1 for key primary. That means there already exists a student with student ID 1 and you are doing a mistake by inserting the student with the same student ID. So don't worry, if you have specified that the primary key is SID, then MySQL will obstruct us. It will not allow us to add two students with the same student ID. This is constraint. This is called constraint on our table and database. Okay. Now let's try to insert one more row then. I will use up arrow. The arrow keys given on the keyboard, I have hit up arrow, and hitting up arrow, you can see all the commands that you have given before. This is good feature so that you don't have to every time type the command. Now what I will do is I'll just change this command. I'll say that there exists a student number 3 with name PQR. That's better, isn't it? And this will be valid because there doesn't exist a student with that roll number 3. So it says query okay, one row affected. Let's insert one more student. This time I will name this student as ARW, let's say, and student ID is 4. Okay, one more row added, you can see affected. Let's add one more, the last student. Let's say the name of this student is POJ. Okay, and the roll number is 5. Okay, so we have added 5 rows. How do you confirm these rows are added? Yes, you say select all columns from from the table student semicolon. So all the rows will be shown, but within those rows, all the columns will be shown. Remember, this star is for all the columns. Great. These are our students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are student IDs and S names as shown. So we have completed adding a table to the database. Table added was student, and we have completed inserting 5 rows in that table. 4 more tables to go. More tables will be created as we keep learning in the next video. Thank you very much.